Alright guys, welcome back. Had a bit of an issue with the last set of recordings I did in trying to finish this fusion reactor. I got it all done and thought I had the recordings all good, but they came out really badly corrupted. So I'm having to redo this. Now, a couple things have changed, and I'll go ahead and address those real quickly just for sake of continuity. The pig dropper has been highly modified. As you can see, we now have them dropping into a sort of a central pit, and I've got a couple buddies down there picking up the golden nuggets and completely ignoring the rotten flesh, because God knows we have enough rotten flesh as it is. And I've got this little filter pushing the golden nuggets all the way over to this fabricator. Now this fabricator is really cool. You put a recipe in it, and this side fills up with the things coming in from the pipe, and each time it gets 9 nuggets, it automatically generates a gold ingot, which then gets shot out with this filter to the inner chest and into our central storage. I have this other pit over here set up for wither skeletons, but that became kind of problematic, so I'm not using that at the moment. Whoa, lag. I also set up a sort of emergency backup power source, which is this lava tank. Now this is using the new Zycraft filter, or valve, I'm sorry, to create a Zycraft tank. And as you can see, this tank holds 16 million units of lava, which I believe equates to 16,000 buckets. So we could easily fabricate a crap ton of magmatic engines and be pretty much set for backup power if need be. So let's go ahead and get to setting this up. Now, I went ahead and of course I built it all the way the first time I made this video, but we actually had a bit of a mishap, and so things actually worked out well because I had to rebuild it. Now, if you remember last time, we went ahead and generated the fusion reactor, and we also built the electromagnets and electromagnetic glass. Now, when you are setting this up, what you want to do is you want to have the fusion reactor in the middle of this ring of electromagnets, and that's going to go right there. Okay? So you have this inner ring of electromagnets, and then you have another outer ring of electromagnets with a block space in between them. And then you want these electromagnetic glass on top and also on bottom. And what that does is it creates a space for the plasma that the fusion reactor is going to make to flow. Now, on the outside of this, you're going to build a little cobblestone, or you can use any material you want, assuming it's not like gravel or sand. But you're going to put 2 blocks out, and you're going to put regular pistons on the outermost layer facing inward. And then we're going to put another layer of cobblestone on top of that. Let's do that real quick. And you're just basically making a plus shape. All the way around. Oh, squirrely. There we go. Now, once you have that second layer of cobblestone, you're going to place a lever on one of the corners, like so, and you're going to run some redstone wiring. Let's go and flip that on so we know it's working. And up in this way, actually, yeah, no, that's right. Okay, so once we get here, what we're going to do is you're going to put a redstone repeater, because of course redstone signal does not go very far. Now you could also use redstone alloy wire if you wanted, but that's a little bit on the expensive side compared to just the straight up dust. Okay, another repeater here. And the last repeater here. There we go. And there's no need to connect that last section. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab some buckets of water. And for that we've got our trusty little infinite water source here. Go and get 12 to start with, because we're going to need quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip that off. No pun intended. And we're going to go ahead and place the water source blocks right along the top layer of cobblestone. No, not those. There we go. And this is going to go all the way around all four sides. Alright, let's go ahead and go grab some more. There we go. Alright, that should be enough. Right there, there. And then we got one more side. Alright. Alright, there we go. So now, just go and test this out real quick. Alright, so right now the pistons aren't doing any good, but that's because we haven't added the other part of the puzzle, which is these reactor turbines. Now, the reactor turbines are actually what generate the electricity or the energy that you're going to use. So let's go ahead and add those in. Okay, he's going to put just one on each side, or one on each space on each side, and you got to make sure that you're putting them directly over the electromagnets, because when the plasma passes over these electromagnets, it generates heat, which boils the water, which turns the turbines. You can tell they put a lot of thought into actually trying to make this mod as realistic as possible. Alright, so now you can see there's water underneath the turbines, but if I flick this switch, it stops the water. And so what that means is if you have an issue where you're generating too much electricity and you don't want to blow out your system, you can flip that switch and the plasma will still be flowing around this chamber, but it won't be heating the water because the water won't be touching the electromagnets, so these turbines will eventually stop. Alright. Now I also have this tower right here, And what this is going to do is this is going to feed water directly down on top of the center area so that we can get even more power output from this. Now, there is a piston on this one as well, which will be controlled by the same redstone signal as the rest. So let me go ahead and build that bridge up. Go down in the water here. There we go. And go ahead and run the redstone up on that. Nope, no, don't throw it on the ground. Alright. And I'll go ahead and flip the switch just to make sure. And as you can see, the piston up here has activated as well, and we'll put the water right there when we've got the turbines in place. So let's go ahead and put these last few turbines in. And you got to be a little careful about this. So I'm going to, let's see. The problem is this electromagnetic glass is super fragile. Let's see. Alright, so we got that, and then we're just going to run this all the way around. Let me go ahead and try and get rid of that. If I aim away from the electromagnetic glass, I should be okay. There we go. Good deal. Alright, so I'm going to put the rest of these turbines in. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and put the water in just to make sure everything's looking good. Alright, and then when I flip the switch, that water should stop. This water should be pushed back and everything's good. So this is now a control function. So let's go ahead and wire up these turbines. And for that we're going to need the copper wire. You want to make sure you wire every turbine, and as you can see they've got the little black output port. Go ahead and get rid of this piece of cobblestone. There we go. And that's where you're going to wire these together. There we go. Little laggy, but that's all right. All right, so all right. Standing on top of it means you can't place. No, not there. Come back here. Alright, and then we're going to wire the inside ring as well. And we're going to go ahead and connect the inside ring to the outside ring so it's all one continuous circuit. Alright, so that's the fully assembled fusion reactor. As you can see, you've got access to the bottom. You need to go ahead and run copper wire down this way, not that direction. And see here again, this is one of those things where you got to be real careful. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna, let's see. There we go. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and grab couple of energy cubes. Now I'll just grab a couple from over here. I've got one that should be pretty low. Yep. So I'm going to grab that. Come back here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these full ones over here. You need a powered energy source to start the reaction, and then you can sort of wire the output back into that, and it'll keep it running until the reactor runs out of fuel. So we're going to go ahead and put, let's see, let me go ahead and take this piece out, because we don't want it connected yet, but that's where it's going to be connected. So I'm going to put the full one right here. And let me go ahead and bring the output down the side. Got to go up and around the redstone. There we go. A little higher, there we go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the, well, where'd it go? Wonder if I left it over there. Pretty sure I grabbed it. Let me log out and log back in. Sometimes the system does that. And yes, I do have the IP hidden because it's a private server. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Had a little issue with my my login. It happens from time to time, but as you can see, the item was in fact in my inventory, but just glitched to where it was not showing. Alright, so we're going to come over here and we're going to place this energy cube down right here. Now this is the one that needs some charging up. So we're going to make sure the wire is going into one of the green sides, and then of course the black side being the output, we're going to wire that to this other energy cube right here. And of course this one does not need any juicing up, so that shouldn't take any more energy from this one. So as you can see, this one's about halfway full. Alright, so we're ready to go. Everything is all wired and correctly installed, so now all we need is fuel for the fusion reactor. And this is where we weren't sure if we were ever going to be able to build something like this, because the fuel required is deuterium, which is this right here. Now, in the old version of Voltz, they had a device called a deuterium extractor, which looked remarkably similar, in fact, freaking identical to this. But as you can see, this is called a chemical extractor, and according to what we read online, this is used to make yellow cake uranium for refining into refined uranium for use in nuclear bombs. What we didn't realize was that this actually is also still used to extract deuterium. All you need is a power source and a water source, so that this side is full of water, and you grab you some empty cells and you stick them on in right here. This is where the uraninite ore would go to make yellow cake, but if you put empty cells in there, it starts spinning right up and it'll make uranium, or make deuterium right there. So let's go ahead and grab some deuterium. Stack of 64 should do nicely. And we're going to go ahead and feed that into the reactor just by right-clicking on it. And we're going to go ahead and finish this connection right here, and this should power up the reactor. And there we go. As you can see, the purple plasma is now flowing in that one block tube all the way around, and as you can hear, that is starting to cause the water to boil, and that is causing the turbines to spin. Now it looks like they're just spinning very sluggishly right now, but as the heat increases on this reactor, the water will increase in temperature and the turbines will start spinning more rapidly, which means they're going to be generating more electricity. So let's go ahead and check this energy cube right here. Now as you can see, it's having energy still pulled from it because it's feeding into this energy cube right here. So as this one goes down, it's feeding energy into this, which is feeding into the reactor. That tells us that at this point the fusion reactor is using more electricity than it's generating. But at some point, very quickly, see, it's now beginning to generate more electricity than it's using, and so this energy cube is filling up rather rapidly. Now what's going to happen is it's going to continue the increase in energy output to the point to where if you had a completely empty ultimate energy cube and popped it onto this wire, it would go from empty to full immediately. So, so there you go, guys. This is the fusion reactor. Now this this device will run for about an hour on a stack of deuterium, which is good because deuterium's fairly easy to use, or to make, I mean. So it's pretty much a infinite power supply. All you really need is water, because you can actually wire it to where the extractors will feed directly off the reactor, which means it's using the power to generate the deuterium, which is going to keep the reactor running. Now, again, like I said, if for some reason you needed to stop the energy output, you could just flip this switch right here. If I can get close enough to it. There you go. Now the turbines will continue to spin for a little bit, but now then you can hear it's going down, and they've stopped. So now, of course, the plasma is still going to continue to flow because that's just what it does. But this will not generate any more electricity. And if I'm not mistaken, that is going to start draining these cubes pretty quickly. See, now it's starting to go count down again, because it's still feeding into this, which is still feeding into the reactor. So if we switch this back off, causes the water to start flowing again, and there we go. Alright guys, so if you have enjoyed this this little look at fusion science, I certainly hope that you have. Make sure that you leave any comments in the comment section below. I will make another video at some point showing you some of the other goodies that I've made in this base. This thing is just cool as heck. I mean, this is by far the largest tank that has ever been in this game. It's quite a bit larger than the iron tanks of Railcraft, and really all it took was some glass, a little bit of iron, lots of cobblestone, and that valve right there. And it made a gigantic tank, and then of course I have a couple of pumps running from the nether into these tesseracts, just keeping this thing full. So anyways, if you've enjoyed this this episode, and I certainly hope that you have, make sure that you subscribe for more World War Minecraft fun. And make sure you slap that like button like I stole something, and we will catch you guys next time.